Hi, I'm Annie. I'm back. Today we are talking about problems, red flags, issues when you inherit a property with siblings. I've been doing this for over, 10 years, focusing on inherited property sales. And unfortunately, I see some really sad situations when siblings aren't really honest with each other or they don't get along. So I'm going to talk about 3 red flags that I really encourage you to look out for. And even if you think you get along with your siblings, okay, that's the sneaky kind. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. But stick around to the end because I have a little giveaway that I think you'll want. So stick around to the end. And will you do me a huge favor? Will you subscribe to my channel right now? It just takes a second and give me a thumbs up. I get calls weekly from people saying how much my content has helped them, and they bounce ideas off of me or they need my help selling a property. But without you guys subscribing or giving me the thumbs up, sometimes YouTube doesn't put out my videos. People don't see them as often. So that's why I'm asking. I really appreciate it. So I am Annie Baker, and let's get into it. Let's talk about these 3 red flags. Number 1, this typically happens when there's one sibling that lives closest to the inherited property. I recently just saw this, that it's 2 sisters. One lived about 20 minutes away. One lives about 3 hours away, so not super far, and they get along. But the one sister that lives close by told her sister, don't worry about it, I'll handle getting rid of a bunch of the junk in the house and on the property. It had been owned by the grandparents, passed on to their parents. The girls grew up there, but the parents and the grandparents lived in the house for a while too, and really the house had never been really cleaned out of a lot of stuff. So you have grandparent stuff and parent stuff, possibly even some of the sisters' stuff in the house. And there was a lot of junk. The other sister agreed. So she was appreciative that her sister was willing to take this on and sort of, get people to go in and get some of the junk out. She did not expect the house to be completely empty. Okay. She said her grandfather was a sheriff, had a really, expensive gun collection. He had antique guns, and she didn't know where they went. She asked his sister, and the sister's like, oh, I'm not really sure. Kind of feigns that sort of ignorance. The one sister lived a few hours away, would have really liked to go through some of the belongings, get some keepsakes, some mementos. She didn't expect everything to be gone. So be careful. When one sibling is a little too helpful, there could be some ulterior motives. And in this situation, it's sad. I'm still not really sure how it's going to play out, but the one sister is kind of getting bamboozled, and she just is being too trusting. So I get it. Everyone wants to get along. No one wants to be greedy, but maybe one sibling is going to be a little greedier, and they're just sort of not being honest about it. And you have a right. You're all entitled. If you all have inherited everything equally, then you have a right to decisions, first of all, and second of all, to any of the value of the items. So that's red flag. So number 2 red flag to be careful of. This is also more common when one sibling lives closer and the other or others live further away. I have seen it where one sibling offers to move into the house because they don't want it to be vacant. They're trying to be really, proactive. Hey, there have been a lot of break-ins in the area lately. I don't really want, the house to be vacant. I'm happy to move in, short term. And so we have a presence there, and maybe I won't stay there all the time, but it would probably be helpful to have me there. Well, most of the other siblings would be like, oh, that'd be great. We don't want break-ins. The issue I have seen is that then it takes that one sibling a lot longer to actually get out of the house. They get comfortable. They're thinking, hey, maybe I could just move in and siblings won't care. Or, I'll keep telling them I'm working on it. I'm doing some projects. I'm cleaning things up. But again, they're really just dragging their feet. Maybe their marriage isn't so great and they like having an extra place to be. There's a lot of different reasons, but be careful because again, you all need to be on the same page in terms of timelines, and this can slow things down significantly. You don't really know why they're going to the house, so be careful about that. Number 3 red flag, when one sibling says, hey, I talked to this guy who is really interested in buying the house. He'll make it super simple. We don't have to do a thing, and we don't have to get realtors involved. It'll just be easy. Be careful for 2 reasons. One, most likely it's some kind of investor that is going to kind of take advantage of the situation. They're going to say all the right things. You're in a state of overwhelm, stress. What are we going to do with everything, especially if some siblings live out of the area? It's this investor will just say all the right things. They'll make it easy. You don't have to lift a finger. You just have a title company or an attorney handle all the paperwork, and I'll give you a fair price. I'll be really, really fair, and I'll pay cash. It'll be quick and easy for you all. And then, you don't have to worry about anything. The problem with that, a couple of things, but one would be if you only have one investor give you a value of that house and they just say all the right things and make it seem so easy, you could be leaving a lot of money on the table. Every investor has different criteria that they analyze in terms of how much money they'll pay for a property. And some investors will pay more, and some investors, nope, we got to keep it, the price down here. So by just getting that one opinion, honestly, I've seen people lose as much as $300,000. I mean, it's crazy, right? So don't do it for that reason, just because, oh, it's easy, and oh, my sister and my brother said they kind of know this person. Oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't want to deal. So yeah, I'll just do it. Don't go the easy route. We can make it pretty easy. I can help you make it pretty easy, but you won't be losing money on the table. But the other reason is I have seen, actually I haven't seen, I've heard from investors that sometimes they'll pay that sibling. They'll give them an extra $10,000 or $20,000 just to make it easy and convince the other siblings to do it. So they're getting sort of a kickback. So be careful of that. And I hate these kind of conversations because I really prefer when all the siblings are on the same page. They all have integrity. They all want to help each other and make it easy as possible for all of you. But honestly, more often than not, it just isn't. That's just not the way. There's so much bickering, so much fighting. I am so good at this. I'm so good at managing personalities, making everyone feel heard, and making sure it stays equitable and fair. And I take on a lot of the burden, but if you're not near me or you don't want to use me, make sure you use a realtor that is good at all of this. Gosh, you guys, it'll make a difference. So I hope those red flags help. If you want to call about some scenarios off of me that you're worried things aren't going on the up and up, I'm happy to listen. Okay, now to my giveaway, to my freebie. As I've mentioned, I wrote a book about all of this and offering resources, how to make this easier for you if you're in this situation. Little book right here, Amazon bestseller. I am happy to send you a free copy of this. So do me a favor, email me, say you want your free copy of my book, and send me your address, and I'd be happy to get it to you. Thanks for watching. So until next time, have a great one.